Welcome back, everybody, to Well Life Wednesday, where we focus on real conversations that support your mental health, your healing, and your growth. I'm your co host, one of the co hosts, Cristy Hooper, licensed clinical mental health counselor supervisor, and I'm so glad to be with you today. So, today's topic is one that hits deep for a lot of people. We're talking about boundaries with family. Now, let's be real. Setting boundaries in general is hard. We know that. But setting boundaries with family, that's a whole different level because these are the people who raised you, who shaped you, know your history, and sometimes still expect access to every part of your life. But here's the truth I need you to hear today: you can love your family and still need boundaries. So let's start with the basics. Boundaries are not walls, they are not punishments, they are not about pushing people away. Boundaries are guidelines for how you allow others to treat you. Y'all often hear me say we teach people how to treat us. They're how you protect your peace, your emotional safety, your mental health, and your energy. And here's where people get it twisted: boundaries are not about controlling other people, they're about controlling what you will and will not accept. Boundaries are not about controlling other people. They're about controlling what you will and will not accept. So instead of you need you need to stop doing this, it becomes if this continues, I will remove myself. You see how that shift of power happens? You need to stop that. No, you can keep doing it if you want to. I won't be here to watch it or see it or entertain it. You see that difference? You have control over that situation and the behavior. You don't have control over the person and their behavior. You only have control of how you respond to it. Let's talk about why this is so difficult, setting boundaries. Because if you're struggling with this, you're not weak. There are real reasons behind it. Number one, history and conditioning, right? You may have been raised to believe family is everything. And I have. Family is everything. You don't question elders. We've heard that, right? You stick by family no matter what. I don't believe in that practice at all. But nobody taught you what to do when family becomes emotionally unsafe. You hear that? Emotionally unsafe. I can love y'all all day, blood, sweat, tears, all of that. But if you're unsafe for me, then this is no longer a place for me to be. Number two, guilt. That's a big one, right? You feel like I'm being disrespectful. I'm a bad daughter or son. I should just deal with it. No, let me challenge that. Is it really love if it requires you to lose yourself? I'm not here. I can't be out here living for other people because when they dead and gone or gone on with their lives, I'm still here to sit with whatever has gone on and deal with it. So I got to do what's best for me. Number three, fear of conflict. Now I know a lot of people who don't like conflict. Some people would rather stay uncomfortable than to start conflict. I ain't gonna start conflict, but I'm also not gonna stay uncomfortable. So you stay quiet, you overextend, say yes when you really mean no. But that silence builds resentment. You have a lot of families that have resentment with each other because of staying quiet and not dealing with stuff right then and there. And resentment will damage relationships. It's a lot of broken families out here. It's a lot of broken relationships. because we don't set boundaries and we don't teach people how to treat us. Signs you need boundaries with your family. Let's go there. You probably need stronger boundaries if you feel drained after family interactions. My God. After family interactions, I'm exhausted. No, that shouldn't be the case. You feel obligated instead of willing. You feel obligated instead of willing. Your no is rarely respected. You say no and they still do whatever anyway. You say no, not today, and they still come over. You are constantly fixing, helping, or rescuing people and not yourself. Your privacy is not honored. It's so much stuff, information being told between family members when you entrusted somebody with a secret or something that you're struggling with. Next thing you know, Aunt Barbara knows, Uncle Timmy done heard about it now. The whole church family knows. The whole block knows. You feel like you can't be your full self. If you got to put on a mask to hang around your family, why? What's the point? Why are you there? If your family don't know the real you, that's a scary situation because that means you have to wear a mask everywhere. You feel like you have to shrink to keep the peace. Listen, you should never have to tone yourself down so that other people don't feel bad or you don't make other people feel inadequate because they don't have it. No, that's not peace. That's suppression. You're suppressing yourself. You're suppressing your life. What healthy boundaries actually look like? Boundaries don't have to be loud or aggressive. It doesn't. You can have a general conversation and say, this is what I will or will not tolerate. And people are either going to respect it or not. And based off their response to you, you move accordingly. You don't have to yell, cuss, holler, fight, and do all that. It's so many people right now that are in marriages. And I've had clients where boundaries between the in-laws have not been set. So instead of being in a marriage of you and your husband or your wife, you're in a marriage with family, parents. They get say so in decision making. That doesn't even make sense to me. That's because boundaries have never been set. That's because people have never grown up. You have to evolve in life. Your parents, your family are here for a time to help you grow, nurture, and learn. Then when you become of age, you're supposed to be able to go out and take those values and see what type of adult you can become, as well as incorporate some things from the outside world that will help you grow. If you're not growing and you still depending on your parents, your family to help you in situations after a certain age, there's something there that there's a disconnect. I'm not available for that right now is a healthy boundary. It's calm, it's peaceful. Not right now. Can't do it right now. I won't be discussing that topic anymore. Now I'm good for that. I want to keep talking about this and hearing this. Because it's all talk. We're not doing nothing about it. If you see somebody struggling in our family, or you have a problem with me, or an issue with me, stop talking about me. Pray about it. Come see me directly. It's a lot of conversations going on in the background about you, but don't nobody ever want to come see the person that you're talking about. You don't ever have to wonder about what's going on over here with me. You can call me directly if you have questions, and I'll decide if I'm going to answer or not. Because I'm still trying to figure out what my life has to do with you. And it be them same people that have struggles and unresolved issues in their own life that they have yet to fix, but you fixated over here. That does not make sense to me. But a lot of people do that because they don't want to face their own stuff, their own battles, their own struggles. It's easier for me to pinpoint somebody else's and call out somebody else's. I need space to process this. That's another healthy boundary. I often need space to process stuff because you don't want me to respond with my immediate thoughts, feelings, and words because that might not be of God. So it might not be um calm. It might be some aggression and the tone might be off. So let me process what just happened, what you just said, what we dealing with, and we'll come back to it. Trying to beat somebody down right then and there because you want to deal with it and talk about it. Everybody doesn't handle things like you do. So you have to give people space to think things through and process it because over time they might see, oh, I see her point. I see why he or she said that. I see why they did that. But sometimes in the heat of stuff, we only have that tunnel vision. We only see we're right. So sometimes you need to have that pause moment to reflect. And that's okay. Give people space. People don't have to respond on your time. If you get upset with somebody because they don't respond back to you right then and there, that means you have to work on patience. You don't have patience, sweetie. Because everything ain't gonna happen in your. Is this how we treat the Lord? When He don't respond how we want Him to, when we want Him to, give people grace because you want it. I can help, but not in the way you're asking. Ooh, that's a big one. Ooh, that's a big one. If you don't help people the way they ask, if you don't give me this $500 that I asked you for, we got to. How you gonna get mad at me because I don't want to give you my money? But I can help you because I know resource. I have resources that can help you. But you don't want that. If you want stuff the way you want it, I suggest you go out and get it. Don't ask nobody. Don't ask people for help if you're gonna be salty about how they help you. We don't take accountability for a lot of stuff. We like to put stuff on everybody else and be upset with everybody else when in fact it's your issue. You can't pay your bills because you mismanage your money. Or you can't pay your bills because an emergency came up, but you don't like how I say, okay, it's gonna come with interest. I can give you the money, but it's gonna come with interest and a deadline. You mad? That's a boundary. And sometimes boundaries look like actions, no words. Sometimes we need to cut out all that talking. People need to just see your actions speak louder than words. Not answering every phone call. I clearly see you calling me sometimes and I hit decline because I'm protecting my peace. You're trying to internalize it, but you don't even know what I got going on over here. Maybe I had a hard day at work and I felt like everybody in the office was against me. If I answer your phone call, you might get the brunt of everything I experienced that day. Now I have another problem. Why is it always you? She ain't answer because you got a problem. You see, I told you. It ain't always about you. The work people's lives don't revolve around you. And if they do, something's wrong with those people. If they don't have nothing else to do but think about you. Leaving conversations that become disrespectful. We got to learn how to walk off sometimes and not be a part of the mess. Just because you stayed and listened, you might not have said anything, but you stayed and listened. You're now you now became part of the problem. Because if you didn't correct it, if you didn't say nothing and challenge that conversation, say, now we shouldn't be doing this. If you got a problem, go see the person. If you didn't do any of that, you now become part of the problem. You know, we don't have to sit around and entertain everything. And if you do, I'm gonna be honest, you messy. Now I have had conversations trying to figure out how we gonna handle this situation. To me, that's healthy dialogue. I'm frustrated in this situation with this person. Help me figure out how to manage this situation. That's healthy to me. Just sitting around talking about people is doing what? Nothing. I'm here to get a solution to figure out how to manage this or work it out or how to let it go and be okay with that. Limiting how much you share. Stop telling everybody your business. Sometimes your praise reports need to be internal. Thank you, Lord. Just say it to yourself, Lord, he did it again. You don't have to tell everybody everything. Sometimes people just need to wonder. And if they ask you, it was the Lord. How you get that car? It was the Lord. People will run with a scenario that has no basis of foundation in truth or facts. You don't know somebody's journey and how they built that house, how they got that car, how they got that six-figure job. You don't know what they went through to get there. You don't know the prayers that they prayed to the Lord to get them out of debt, put them in a financial stable situation. You don't know what seed they planted. Keep your mouth off people and worry about yourself. Boundaries, people. We too consumed with the next door neighbor and the person across the street. We too consumed when we got our sweep around your own front door. We got people who are emotionally unstable, who can't socially interact with other people, who who are living paycheck to paycheck because they mismanage their funds and overspend. But you worried about who visits my front door. Boundaries. Choosing not to engage in drama. I, I can't. You don't want me to engage. So now I choose not to because the Lord is still working on me. And if I let the devil ride, I don't know what the outcome gonna be. So I have to choose not to engage with foolishness. And I'm promise you I'm okay with that. What people feel, think, or say about me is has no bearing. No, none of these none of these people help me pay my bills. None of these people help me manage my checkbook. None of these people help me with the yard work. None of these people clean my car out. All the things I don't want to do. Nobody helps me with that. The people who got problems with me, none of them help me with that. So you're irrelevant. Here's the part that people don't like. People will notice when you change and they may not like it. How I once used to chat it up with you and talk about people, I'm not that person anymore because I have grown. I have a boundary now, and I see that I didn't want to deal with my own mess. So I'm starting to deal with my stuff and mind my business. You don't like it. You can't call me now with that. No, I'm not going out there with you on that side of town where it's unsafe and I know I could easily be triggered. No. But you go ahead. I'm not stopping you because you're still in that same place and I'm not. I'm okay with that. Because now I'm surrounding myself with like-minded people. If I want to be financially stable, I'm going to connect with people who are already there. If I want a home, I'm going to connect with people who already have one. If I want this certain car, I'm going to ask people, so what steps did you take to get that and make sure um, your your payments weren't too high. If I want to strengthen my prayer life, I'm going to connect myself with a prayer warrior. If I want to go out and do work in the community, I'm going to connect myself with a missionary. You see how 1 + 1 = 2? I'm not going to hang around you anymore because I'm not in that place anymore because it's called growth. I grew up. And I ain't even mad at you that you haven't. I'm over here worried about me. I'm over here making sure I'm bettering myself. But you mad at me because I did. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Go in peace. Because your boundaries disrupt what they've been used to. It's formality. Your boundaries will disrupt what they've been used to. Oh gosh, she changed. I ain't used to that. She bougie now. She too good. Oh, he ain't messing with us anymore. But just because they're uncomfortable doesn't mean you're wrong. That's their discomfort. They have to deal with it. The only person can't nobody get me into heaven. The only person I can talk to and face when I get to that gate, I'm gonna be by myself. It ain't gonna be my homeboys, my homegirls, my mama, daddy, my parents, my siblings. It ain't gonna be none of them pleading my case. I'm trying to get that well done, good and faithful servant all by myself. So let's talk about dealing with pushback and guilt. Let's talk about what happens after you set boundaries because this is where people give up. You might hear things like, you've changed and have. You think you better than us. You said it, not me. Family doesn't treat each other like this and don't. Because I understand now we shouldn't have been treating each other like we have been. So now I've set a boundary of how I want to be treated. But let me help you reframe that. You didn't change, you grew. So tell me when it's you changed, I grew. I grew. And growth will always challenge people who benefited from your lack of boundaries. You hear that? Growth will always challenge people who benefited from your lack of boundaries. When people don't have access to you anymore the way that they have always had access to you, it's going to be a problem. But it ain't yours, it's theirs. Now let's address guilt. Guilt doesn't always mean you're doing something wrong. Sometimes guilt just means you're doing something different. I'm moving different now, marking different now. But some discomfort is not a reason to go back to dysfunction. When you start with moving differently, doing things different, it's gonna be uncomfortable because you're not used to it. It's all new to you. But you got to push past that discomfort because we're not going back to what it was. I want you to reflect on this. Where in your family do you feel most overwhelmed? Where in your family do you feel most overwhelmed? Where do you feel like your voice gets smaller? That's your starting point. Those two questions. Where in your family do you feel most overwhelmed, and where do you feel like your voice gets smaller? You don't have to fix everything today. It's not going to happen. Change doesn't happen overnight. We know that. Start small. One boundary, one honest moment, one no. Just start there and build from that. So as I close, I want to leave you with this. Boundaries are not about distance. They're about alignment. Boundaries are not about distance, they're about alignment. You deserve relationships, even with family, that feel respectful, safe, and supportive. If you don't have those three, you don't have to be in engaged in with that person anymore. And that's fine. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do is stop allowing what hurts you. So if this episode spoke to you today, go ahead, share it with somebody who you think needs it. Subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcast. Um, Leave a review, please. And if it helps, because it helps us reach more people, and that's our goal. That's our aim, to reach more people. And remember, you are allowed to protect your peace even with family. I'll see you next Wednesday.